Hi everybody, today we're going to learn a new topic, degrees of comparison. Degrees of comparison. There are positive degrees, comparative degree, and superlative degree. To understand degrees of comparison, first of all, we need to know what is an adjective. What is an adjective? An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun, or it gives more information about a noun or a pronoun. We can say like that. Okay, what is an adjective? It gives information about a noun or a pronoun. Okay, you understand? Okay, let's see that with few examples. There were five smart studious students. Okay, there were five smart studious students. In this particular sentence, students, the word students, noun, and studious students, that means how were the students? They were studious, they were very good in their studies, they were smart. Students were smart. Students, how many students were there? Five. So all these three words, five is an adjective because it qualifies the noun. How many students were there? It gives information. And how about the students? The students were smart. And how about the students' knowledge? They were studious. The standard of their learning is studious. They are very studious. So all these three adjectives qualifies the noun. We'll come to know about the noun. Okay, so in the first sentence, these adjectives come at the front before the noun. So you may ask whether it will always come at the front. No. Look at the second sentence. She was beautiful. And it is not a noun, it's a pronoun. I, you, we, they, he, she, it, and all these words used instead of noun are called pronouns. Here, she. So, that is the pronoun. Look at the sentence. She was beautiful. You know, how do we come to know that she was beautiful? Because the word, the adjective word, gives information about that particular lady that she was beautiful. It is giving information about the pronoun. It may give information about the noun or pronoun. Okay, it may come at the front or it may come at the end also. You know, in the first sentence, before the noun, the adjectives are there. In the second sentence, the adjective is found at the end. So it may come anywhere. Okay, so you can easily identify what is an adjective. Adjective modifies a noun or gives information about a noun or a pronoun. Hope you understand. Okay, there are two types of adjectives. How to find out adjectives? Two types of adjectives. One is easy to identify. They are descriptive adjectives. You can say like beautiful girl, big ball, a small ball, tall boy, short guy, blue shirt, red pants. We can easily say, you know, it is descriptive and you can easily identify. But there are another type of adjectives, they are called as determiners. This is my car. This is my car. So it is explaining about the car. It is giving information about the noun car. It is whose car? It is my car. In the second sentence, this, that, these, those. These are great students, or these are good pens. So this, that, these, those, they determine these determiners are used as adjectives. Also, what, which, whose, and words of quantity like many, each, every, those are also determiners. And articles, this is a pen. A pen means we can easily identify it as one pen. It is a pen. It is one pen. So, this is a little difficult to understand the determiners, but they can also act as adjectives. But descriptive adjectives are very easy to understand. Just to differentiate, that there are two types of adjectives. That's it. Then, regular adjective. I'm sorry there. First part is positive, the second is comparative, the third is superlative. Sometimes some adjectives are converted to comparative and superlative by adding er and est. For example, cheap, cheaper, cheapest, big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest, rich, richer, richest, poor, poorer, poorest, easy, easier, easiest. Er and est. Just by adding er and est, you can make an adjective from positive to a comparative one and from positive to a superlative one. Sometimes, like word in big, the adjective big, it's not only added with er, also that last consonant g, big, double, it is getting doubled there, bigger, bigger. There are also some exceptions. Not only er, sometimes the final consonant may double in some cases. Thin, thinner, thinnest, there also it gets doubled. Okay, so these are regular adjectives. The forms are not that difficult. Cheap, cheaper, and cheapest. But there are some other adjectives which are irregular adjectives. We'll talk about that later. Okay, then the next one is to know the order of adjective. Here a sentence is given. A beautiful small round old blue French cotton tablecloth. When you read this, a beautiful tablecloth, a small tablecloth, a round tablecloth, an old tablecloth, a blue tablecloth, a French tablecloth, a cotton tablecloth. All these words are adjectives. Okay, how to arrange that in the order? Okay, for that you need to know some rule. Okay, determiner, that comes at the first place. Okay, the second one is opinion, the third is size, the fourth one is shape, the fifth one is age, the sixth one is color, and the seventh one is origin, eighth one is material, and it keeps on going like purpose and all those things. So for the given example, look at the second word, beautiful. Beautiful is opinion. And what is the next word? Small. Small comes next to the opinion, that is size. That's why a beautiful small. Then comes round, that is the shape. Okay, that's why it takes the next place. And age, whether it is old or new or young, all those things. And then color, that's why we have written blue there. And the origin, it is a French tablecloth, Indian tablecloth or Australian tablecloth or something like that. And the last one is material. So this is how we need to arrange the adjective if there are more than one adjective in a sentence. This is just for added information. Okay. The next one, let's see. Okay. Put the adjectives in the correct order. Yesterday, I met a Japanese young, well-dressed man. It is not in the right order. Jared owns expensive two German sports yellow car. This is also not in the order. Just try, write, pause the video and write. Okay? Then check your answer. This is the right order of arranging. Yesterday I met a well-dressed young Japanese. Jared owns two expensive yellow German sports car. Okay, this is the order. This is just for your understanding. Okay, let's move on. Things to remember. What do we do when we change a positive degree to a comparative degree and that to a superlative degree? When you read the adjectives, the first word is tall, in comparative taller, in superlative tallest, rich, richer, richest. These are regular adjectives, so it is getting its comparative and superlative by adding er and est. Okay, but look at the third word, beautiful. It's not beautifuler, it's not beautifulest. Instead, beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Honest, more honest, most honest. So you may ask where to use more and most in comparative and in superlative. So there is a small tip that you need to remember. Monosyllabic, tall, in just one timing we can say tall. It's a monosyllabic word. All the monosyllabic word will get its comparative and its superlative by adding er and est. So all this monosyllabic word will not have more and most for its comparative and superlative. But when you read this word beautiful, beautiful, it has three syllables. So such two-syllabic words, that means disyllabic words, trisyllabic words, those words take more in comparative form and most in the superlative form. Okay? Okay. You may ask, what is that, sir, in positive? As tall as. But in the second sentence, so rich as. Okay. When it comes to the example sentence, I will give you the explanation. But just look at the clue word as, so as in the positive. And in the comparative, the adjective becomes comparative degree, that is taller than is used. And in the long adjective, more beautiful than. So comparative should always have the comparative form of adjective followed by than. And superlative, it is preceded with the definite article the tallest, the richest, the most beautiful, the most honest. So superlative degree should have that. Okay, don't forget. As or so as in positive, than in comparative, and the in superlative. Got it? Okay. Then irregular adjectives. There are some adjectives, you can see that. Good, it is not gooder, goodest, it's not more good, most good, but totally it is irregular. There is no connection between the positive and comparative. good is something different to its comparative form better. That is why these come under irregular adjective. So good, better, best, well, better, best. Bad, worse, worst, ill, worse, worst. Many, more, most, much, more, most. Little, less, least. So they take an irregular form of comparative and superlative. Please keep this in your mind. Okay. Let's move on to type 1. Today we are going to see 3 types. Okay, look at the first sentence. No other planet in our solar system is as cold as Neptune. This is in positive degree because we have as cold as. No, we already saw here as tall as, so rich as beautiful as. This is in positive degree. Okay, so it is positive. No other planet in our solar system is as cold as Neptune. So the first type says no other planet, no other. No, that means there it is the Neptune. Neptune is the coldest. That's all. No other planet is in our solar system is as cold as Neptune. Okay. You can also say like no other planet is as cold as Neptune in our solar system. You can also say like that. Okay, just look at the keyword. No other planet. In positive, you have to begin with no other. No other. And in the adjective, as cold as. As cold as. Okay, so how to change that into comparative degree? Bring this particular word Neptune to begin with. Okay, Neptune is, look at the verb. You should not change the tense of the verb. It should be in present tense only. Neptune is, what did we see there? Taller than. But here it is cold. So colder than. And instead of no other planet, we are using this particular phrase. Any other planet in our solar system that becomes comparative. Okay, no other planet. In comparative, it is any other planet. Here it is positive degree. Here it is comparative degree. Okay, same way. Let's change that into superlative. Neptune is the coldest or the coldest. So here cold, colder, coldest. Here it is escorted with as and as. Here it is followed by than, and here it is preceded with the. Neptune is the coldest of all the planets. Any other is changed here to of all the planets in the solar system. This makes it superlative. So this is one model. This is one type. Okay, in this type, the given statement or what we are talking about is the superlative. No other thing is compared to that particular thing. So when we compare other planets for its nature of cold, Neptune is the coldest. No other planet in our solar system is as cold as Neptune. So this is type 1. Okay, no other planet, any other planet in the superlative of all the planets. The degree, it is in positive cold, and here it is colder than, and here the coldest. So I have given you an example. I have not begun with positive and comparative, but I have given you superlative. Change this into positive and comparative. Compulsive gambling is the worst habit a man can develop. Okay, it is given in your book exercise also for 12th standard in page number 157, 158. Please check over there. So it is in superlative. So how will you write? Compulsive gambling is the worst habit a man can develop. Yes, just think of how to begin in positive. How to begin in positive? You're absolutely correct. No other habit. Yes. Is as positive. You forgot what is worst? See here. Worst is superlative here. Worst is comparative. We are doing positive. So what is that? Bad. Okay. No other habit is as bad as compulsive gambling a man can develop. Or you can write like, no other habit a man can develop is as bad as compulsive gambling. Okay, I've given you positive. Already the question as superlative. You just try comparative. Okay? This is type 1. Okay. Hope you understand type 1. Okay. Let's move on to type 2. There in the first type we saw no other. No other. That is the. Okay. But here in type 2, very few dramatists are as great as Shakespeare. Yes, Shakespeare is uh, one of the greatest, but you can't say he is the greatest dramatists. Like Shakespeare, there are few other dramatists. That's why this type is second type, wherein we start not with no other, but with very few. Okay, that's the keyword which I've given you in red. Very few dramatists. Okay, because the subject is in plural, the sentence has are. So look at the degree as great as Shakespeare. That is in positive. So how to write? Always bring that Shakespeare, the word Shakespeare here to begin with. Shakespeare is, this is positive great, and this is what? Greater than. Why do I change are into is? Because here we're talking about the plural subject. Here the subject is singular. So is. Shakespeare is greater than. Here, note this one. You should not write any other as we did in first type. No, no, no. Here it should be many other. Okay. Shakespeare is greater than many other dramatists of the world. Okay. Then that is comparative. Shakespeare is one of the greatest dramatists of the world. Here we bring one of the greatest. In the previous is the coldest, no other planet. But here there are few. So we can't say he is only the greatest. There is one of the greatest dramatists of the world. So here I missed out something. Very few dramatists of the world are as great as Shakespeare. I just missed out the phrase of the world there. Okay, so hope you understand. Very few is the clue word for the positive. Many other is a clue for comparative. One of is the clue word for the superlative. And how does the adjective change? Positive it is great, and here it is greater than. Here it is the greatest. Okay. Now I've given you positive. Very few people in this town are as generous as Mr. Mohan. That is in positive. How will you write the comparative? Mr. Mohan is come on, think. Yes, more generous than many other people in this town. Very good. Why? Because generous. It is a long adjective, and we use more and most for comparative and superlative. You are excellent. So, in superlative, how it is going to be? Mr. Mohan is one of the most generous person or people in this town. Okay, Mr. Mohan is one of the most generous people in this town. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to the next model. Okay, that is comparison of two things or persons. Here, the comparison is made only between two, not with many. This is type. I brought this as type 3. So, the first example, I've given two examples. But you must remember that there are no superlative because only comparative can be made between two. If there are more than two only, we can just bring the superlative. But here there is no superlative in this type. okay, because it has been compared only with two things or two persons. Let's see. Apples are costlier than mangoes in the summer season. Okay, look at the sentence. The sentence is in affirmative. It is in positive. Apples are costlier than. So, what you need to do, first of all, you just bring this word mangoes here. Okay, we interchange these two things. Mangoes goes here, apples come here. Interchange of that two things. First one. Second, verb are. Don't change the verb because you should not change the tense of the verb. But if it is positive, we need to change that into negative. Okay? If the sentence is in positive, you need to change that into negative. Second point. And the third point, not so costly as. Until now we are using as. Here as. But when it comes with negative, we are using so costly as. Where do we use that? In comparing two things in the negative. There only we use so as. Okay, first one is mangoes. Second one is verb changed to negative form. Third, costlier than. It is in comparative. We need to change that into positive. So costly as. And this change, interchange of this word apple comes here. Mangoes are not so costly as apples in the summer season. Okay, if the comparative given sentence is in positive or affirmative, you need to change that into negative. Okay, let's see if it is given in the negative. Apples are not more expensive than mangoes during winter. It is in negative. Okay, we'll change it into affirmative or positive. But it is in comparative degree. Don't forget, comparative degree, you need to change that into positive degree. So, interchange of words. Mangoes comes here. Negative becomes positive. Mangoes are. So, negative only you are going to use so and as. But here it is positive. So, mangoes are as expensive as. Okay, as expensive as. This word apples come here. So, mangoes are as expensive as apples during winter. We have changed that into affirmative. So, here is a sentence for you to do the understanding part of homework. Okay, hurricanes are as dangerous as tornadoes. Okay, give me the answer. Okay, hope you understand this topic, degrees of comparison, and try to do the exercises which is given at page number 156 and 157 for higher secondary Tamil Nadu syllabus, 12th standard. Thank you.